Whoa! Whoa! What the hell? Good luck, have fun from Solar. Shut up from Beyond in the bottom left-hand side of the semi-finals of the ESL Weekly Cup. His opponent in the top right, this is Solar. What is going on here? Solar opens up the match with a good luck, have fun. Beyond says, shut up. Wow. Did Solar beat Beyond? Weren't they in separate groups? Did Solar beat Beyond in GSL? I can't quite remember. I feel like there may be a little bit of, how dare you, you beat me in the tournament. Looks like Beyond's going to do a 3 racks Reaper opening? Third Barracks, second gas? No way. Second gas? I think you need a second gas to support that, right? Yeah. It's going to take this guy in a second. So he starts a Reaper. Guys, this is a crazy build order. Beyond, of course, cutting SCV production right now. Starts the Orbital. Okay, this is interesting. So I guess the second gas goes down a little later. Okay. So the Orbital gets delayed a bit. Solar has no idea right now. He's just scouting for proxies. But this Overlord will see the Reapers rallying across the map. And he's going to build a second depot there. So we will have a secondary wall off behind this. And check it out. Okay, the Reaper pop gets enough gas for the third Reaper. I don't think... He's got... Yeah, okay. I don't know if this maps out, this build order. Obviously, there's some gaps in production, but I don't know if there's a way to have it perfect. So he's on 3 racks Reaper, guys. This is going to be a very aggressive opening. And you know what? Solar doesn't send his Overlord all the way in. Oh, but he's already showed the second Reaper. I feel like this is a build where Beyond could maybe have held the Reapers back a little bit, but he's just playing it as a momentum build order. 3 racks Reaper from Beyond to open this best of 5. Good luck, have fun. Shut up, says Beyond, and eat my Reapers. What a way to start the series. Shopify there, of course, only supporting players who are salty cucks. That is actually in their mission statement as a team, guys. They've said, yeah, we only like people that complain about imbalance, whine, and tell their opponents to shut up all the time. Oh, getting the creep tumor was really good. He wants to kill those queens, but he also does not want to lose that Reaper, so he's going to pull it back for now. Third hatch is on the way. The drone count very low, just 24 for Solar. He's trying to build more lings and queens. If he can get that creep tumor, that would be pretty huge. Oh, is he going to go for it, though? Beyond, oh, pull back the red hit point Reaper. Yeah, he's going to go into the other ones. He gets it. No, he pulled back. He pulled back too fast. Dude, getting that creep tumor would have opened up everything, because now, look at this. This creep allows the queens to rotate. Oh, if you stop that creep tumor, I think you win this game as Beyond. I honestly think the Reapers do too much damage if that happens. Look at the way he's microing so well. Guys, this is so hard to play against, and it's been a while since Solar's practiced against this. Remember, Beyond won a world championship largely off the back of this strategy. It was a stronger Reaper back then, but this is still incredibly hard to stop. His micro is just so good, and now that the queens are gone, there's no spine here. Doesn't matter. Oh, Link Speed. Link Speed's about to kick in. Link Speed! Is it going to save the day? It very well may for Solar. As Beyond pulls on back, he's going to have to regroup, let his units heal. Zergling's not the best counter to this. There's no queens or anything like that anchoring the position. And Beyond, his command center is almost finished. His factory is there. Third command center on the high ground. I think this is already probably good enough damage for Beyond, but he might do even more. Ooh-wee. Zergling's coming on forward. 16 Beyond, 2016 Beyond. Solar's like, is this the Beyond from 2016? Is this world champion Beyond? Is that what this is? Solar with a little bit of sass in the chat right back at him. And awesome. Now remember, I think the last time these guys played in a really big tournament match was probably the Cheesadelphia Grand Finals, where Beyond just schooled him. Solar got ahead in some of those games, and then we just got crumpled by Beyond's pressure. Beyond was just all over him. Attacking from every side, as always. And it was all momentum. Some proxy raxes, I think, got mixed in there as well. And, I mean, Beyond here, he's doing really good. The supply looks obviously great for Solar, and he has now got a mineral line, another mineral line, another mineral line. But remember that his tech's incredibly low, and there's already Cloaked Banshees kind of producing. There's 3 barracks up, so it's pretty good production for the Terran. And that third command center is finished. I still think this is a perfectly good position for Beyond, especially with the creep so far back, so few queens. No, it's better than perfectly. I think this is actually a lead for Beyond. And it's hard to say that when a player's down 20 supply, But unless these Reapers all get surrounded and just shut down in the next few seconds, it just feels like they're still slowing down the creep spread. They're distracting Solar from injecting. They're chipping away at his unit count there. And he does lose one Reaper, but that's okay, man. He's keeping Solar so busy. And those Cloaked Banshees going to come out. Lair has not started, so he could just slide these Banshees along the flank, come in on a mineral line, get like 10, 12 kills. That could be massive. Spore Crawler on the edge of the main, looking for a Liberator. Baneling Nest on the way. Lair does start up for Solar. Of course, Lair unlocks the ability to make Overseers, which can detect those Cloaked Banshees. 3 barracks on the way. He's already building 5 Marines at a time as well, with Stim halfway done. So this is that power of the 3 barracks. You've already got your production up early. 3rd Command Center is floating down. 15 worker lead. Very healthy for Solar, though. And he's actually recovering his creep spread pretty well. I don't know, man. I keep saying that Beyond's ahead, and that supply lead ain't really closing just yet. So I'm like, do I not know how to read this situation? To be fair, I admit, I will readily admit, I'm not very good at reading this situation in StarCraft. Doesn't focus fire the drones at first. Oh, good Spore trick. Only 2 drones, not too bad. That Spore's out of range of the Banshee. The Banshee just sitting there, being a little annoying. It's not going to find much damage, though. 2nd Banshee's going to join up with this. I was going to decloak. They'll retreat to the left side of the map. Reapers on the right. He's got to be real careful with those. 4th and 5th barracks on the way. And that 1-1 upgrade started a little late there. Beyond a little slow on those upgrades. Those eBays finished about 30 seconds ago. Only 1 Evo for Solar for now, but he's going to have a healthy lead on the upgrade. And Carapace is the more important upgrade. Really reducing the Terran's damage output. Very key. A lot of Marines pushing forward, threatening. So Overseer does not want to go off that pillar right now. Oh, not a good idea, Solar. It was like, oh, if I go in that direction, you won't see me. But the Reapers were standing there, so they could spot it. Armory's on the way, as well as 2 more reactors. Remember that Beyond is not really... I feel like since he's had wrist issues, and I think he's revamped his play a little bit, he still has great micro moments, but I don't really think of him as the kind of guy who just plays micro strategies like this. It's a little surprising that he decided here to just go for the most micro-intensive strategy of 3-Rax Reaper. We'll see exactly how he transitions. He's got tanks on the way in a 2nd factory, and when you're playing Solar, you know he's the best lurker player in the world right now. Sorry, Raynor. I'm sorry. You invented this style. You made it popular, but I think Solar might be the best right now. Ooh, picks him up at the last second. Reapers, though. Oh, was that an F2, Beyond? Looked like a bit of a cheeky F2, man. He's going to try and get those Reapers back to the choke point. He's going to lose a lot of them. Aw, man, we were going to see 1-1 Reapers. You just needed to keep these alive for 30 more seconds, bro. I do like the grenades. Oh, my God. Finally, the Banelings get on top. And those Reapers! Oh, my God. They go flying into the goddamn water. Ouchie. Whew, hot damn. Hot damn. Double drop on the left side of the map. We've got Infestation Pit, Hydroden, and 1-2 upgrades on the way. And it looks like this game's going to reset to a rather standard situation. 4th Command Center on the way. 72 workers for the Terran, 80 for Zerg. Upgrades need to continue there. Beyond already slow on starting his 1-1. Sometimes that disrupts when your 1-1 finishes. So when you go to start your 2-2 by instinct, your 1-1's actually still upgrading. So there's a flow-on effect where sometimes forgetting one set of upgrades means it delays the next set as well. And that can be a real bummer. Marines tanks on the right side of the map. Before this match, Chance updated me. Solar was on an 8 series win streak versus Beyond. So he is on an 8 series win streak, unless this match can turn that around. Beyond here coming in as a big underdog. Solar has always had his number, and I've often talked about how Beyond is a momentum and tempo-based player who kind of, his whole thing is making chaos and forcing you to make mistakes. Clem kind of does the same thing, just a bit more textbook, whereas Beyond's a bit more chaotic. Clem's a little cleaner in how he does it. Solar, though, is the best player in the world at defending Clem. Like, he just, in straight-up games against Clem, against Maru, he does so good. Oh, picks up a little slow, loses a few Marines. He's going to try and drop to defend there. Dude, the tanks are doing so much. And it does get cleaned up, but I think that was a pretty okay trade for Beyond. Yeah, he's losing some Marines on both sides, but look at the units lost tab. That's acceptable for Beyond, guys. The supply's fine. That tank is still there with 21 kills. The fact that he's still up in Solar's space, kind of creating holes in the territory is big. 4 Banelings and a Dropper Lord waiting there. These Marines probably going to drop another scan if the Lings aren't quick on him, but there we go, they are. Just going to pick up and pull back. Still active tumors on the left and below that, so creep spread's still looking all right. More Marine tank down the right side. I mean, you can't let him keep working these angles. The Vipers aren't there yet, guys. They're in the production tab, but they won't pop with enough energy for Abducts or Blinding Clouds. And this tank positioning is brutal. This tank here. Oh, and this one. Look at how tucked in the corner that is. Oh, no. I mean, there's okay, Bigling Bane surround. Oh, Beyond did not get the focus fire with his Marines, though. He's going to pick up and drop on the right side. The tanks are going down to the, oh my god, the rocks. So many Banelings died that the rocks went down. How often do you see that? Holy crap. And Beyond, yeah, he's losing his army, but he's also hitting the right at the same time. And these trades are once again good enough for Beyond, I believe. He's still up about 4,000 resources lost. Losing all the tanks does hurt, but he's producing them 2 at a time. He's got 4 more of them. He's going to drop Marines on top of the Banelings. Banelings don't do well against Marines when they're spread out like that. You need the Zerglings to take care of individual Marines. Banelings are there to take out the pack, the formation. And dude, these Marines still cleaning up more and more units. If his 2-2 was done a while ago, it would be so powerful, but it's still only now about to finish in 10 seconds. And it looks like 2-2 will not be ready for this fight. Blinding Cloud on the tanks. The Lingbane comes in. He does focus down one Viper. He's got some Marauders in the mix. And more tanks. In that tank on the high ground. It's got 38 kills. This tank is still over there. Sergeant Chadhammer on the right side of the map that never moved from that earlier position. And every time Solar pushes in there, Sergeant Chadhammer rains down death and destruction. I cannot believe he has not been pushed off this map. And I mean, I can't help but feel that if Mutas were out, Beyond would not be able to do this, but without the threat of the Mutas, with no real mobile anti-air, Beyond is just creeping tanks across this map. Sergeant Chadhammer is going to unsiege and move forward finally. He says, that's it. All right, we're winning this game. I'm going to lead the charge now myself. Big Lingbane army on the left. There's still a base up there. Any other player I'd talk about being dead right now? Remember, Solar came back in a lot of his matches from similar circumstances. Oh, Sergeant Chadhammer is going to siege up on the low ground, and Beyond's going to elevate up there. Okay, 2 tanks on the left. That depot wall's up. There's enough bio to defend that, I think. Marine drop in the main. These guys run in. They see a big army there. What's the tank count, guys? 8 siege tanks. Low numbers of lurkers ain't going to do too well versus that. Sergeant Chadhammer gets his 40th kill here, hitting some of these Hydras, but oh no! Sergeant Chadhammer! He gets abducted! And he does go down. He never should have left that previous point, that strong point where he was sniping people down. Uh-oh. Marine Marauder over here on the left side of this map. Oh, damn. Okay. More tanks. Remember that tank line. That tank line goes forever. I love the way Beyond setting up these pushes. It's so annoying to engage into this, but likewise, the Blinding Clouds from Solar answering. Where did these guys come from? Oh, he catches the lurkers, repositioning. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4 lurkers, picks up, saves the bio, moves to the right. There's still the intern of Chadhammer over there on the low ground, trying to live up to his master's namesake. Bio coming in the left side as well. And Beyond, dude. Beyond is overwhelming. He is everywhere at once. And Solar, he might be good at coming back and from bad situations and all that. But look at that. A scan and Marauders spread against Lurkers. No support. Very bad for Lurkers. That's a fight for Zerglings, is Marauder Siege Tank. Lurkers are there to deal with big packs of bio, Marines. Hatchery gets placed. It's not even focused correctly. And that is really rough. Remember, the Hydras, by the way, do not even have muscular augments. He was not planning to play Hydras this game. And Beyond catapulting himself to a Game 1 victory. Alright guys, map number 2 is going to be Oxide. This is actually Beyond's map pick, so definitely favored down here. Shopify Rebellion's Beyond. His opponent in the top right, Kaisi Gaming Solar, who is so good with lurker play. I wouldn't actually be surprised if he wins this map. Even though this is technically better for the Terran pushes, some great areas for tanks to siege up, obviously on these cliffs and so on, and kind of, you know, up here, siege tanks, right? We've seen siege tank wedged there, wedged in here behind these blockers. But at the same time, Solar, if he can kind of shut down those first swings from his opponent, I think he'll be in a very good position. Beyond opening a little more standard here with the barracks into gas. No 3RX3 for this time around. Hearing Pig say lurker like an American is just odd to me. Instead of lurker, I say lurker. Well, I pronounce the R a bit, do I? Lurker? I don't quite say lurker. A lurker. How do American lurker? It's lurker. I don't think I say it like an American, do I? I don't know. I say some words like an American. I don't know if that's one of them. Thank you, Endymion, with the 14-month resub. An interesting question from Flappy Najib in chat. Is it a demonstration that the Zerg style of skipping mutas or anti-air is not that great? No, it's stylistic. So it just, if the Terran gets momentum like that, it's a little harder to regain control, right? Whereas mutas can kind of shut down the ability of the Terran to pick up and drop and move around. And it also, it's something where you could tell that Beyond was building tanks nonstop because Solar is predictably going this style recently where he's not playing mutas. He's playing lurkers every game because he's so good at it. That's why he's doing it. Downside is Beyond never built Widow Mines that game. He went straight to tank production from the start. Normally a Terran can't do that. So Beyond went into that with a clear plan of, I know you're going to play lurkers and I'm going to set up to beat that. Whereas if the Terrans are unsure, and say they open Widow Mines, and then they've got to swap their factory, build a tech lab, and say that they're maybe 1 or 2 siege tanks behind from where they would be, that makes a big difference in terms of getting momentum. It's not that skipping the anti-air is bad, it's that Solar lost queens early on, then he lost even more queens after that in the mid-game, had his creep push back, and he just couldn't quite crush any of those pushes the way he needed to. Potentially a big Zergling flank or something like that. Ooh. Alien Marine there does clean up the little slow Zergling scout. So I think it's always a tough style, one that kind of has minimal anti-air. Definitely building a few more spores across your base helps. I think honestly, Solar just needed to find a moment to get either a Ling Bane counterattack in or a proper wraparound to shut down one of Beyond's pushes. It was just one of those games where there was a series of engagements where Solar kind of cleaned him up, but never quite shut him down. It was like, cool, cleaned you up over here, but there's a drop in another mineral line. Or I cleaned you up here, but there's still a tank further back. You know, Sergeant Chadhammer in that game who just kept getting hits. Now, speaking of which, we should talk about the build, guys. We're going to have a Marine drop and a few Hellions coming across. So this was only 2 Hellions. You're meant to build 3 with this style. This is a bit bizarre. Interesting. So it's going to be a Marine drop. He's looking for the Overlords. He doesn't know it's on the other pillar. Hellions. Normally it's 3 because they can pair up and one-shot things like creep tumors, drones, Zerglings very easily. 2 Hellions, not going to be able to do that. Does find that. No transfuses available, not going to be able to save that Overlord. You don't want to take any damage on the medevac just yet, though. Cloaked Banshee's going to come in. Interestingly, he's not building more Hellions, guys. So he doesn't want to dive. He wants to just get his barracks production going right now. Cloaked Banshee straight into 3 racks on 2 base? Oh, Beyond. Interesting, guys. He might even do a 3 base tank push. Yeah, he might actually 3 barracks, 2 base tank push. He's going to push really, really hard. Thank you very much, T-Bone Shorty, for the sub. Much love, mate. Oh, can he get it? Not quite. Changes target to the Zerglings. Picks up, gets out of there. He'd like to kill the Overlord. Beyond there, cannot contain himself. He's a little excited. Beyond is one of the randier Terrans out there, guys. Always wants to get a bit more damage. Banshee's going to come around the backside. While that Marine drop pokes in the 3rd. And the Hellions, of course, just controlling at the front. Banshee gets 1, 2. Make it 3. Make it 4. Make it 5. Make it rain. It's a lot of damage, guys. 5 drones. This is really, really important damage because Solar's drone count was getting a little out of control. It's going to even things out a little bit. Solar's still holding down that drone key, but these spores very late. These spores started at about 5:15, guys. Incredibly late spore crawlers. Marine drop did pull back from the main. Banshee. Oh, he's killing quite a few drones, man. All right, you're about to run out of energy, and the Overseer's there. Run! Run! Oh, nice transfuse. Overseer's not moving, though. Oh, great pullback. Another Banshee comes in as well. That Banshee hiding in the back. Marine drop back in the main. Oh, Beyond is all over Solar. I mean, he started this series with shut up. against the good luck, have fun. I mean, that is, I think he's honestly an eight loss streak against a player can make you a little salty. 15 drones by the 6-minute mark, though. That's got to make you feel a little bit better. Got the Banshees coming in there as well. Picking off drones. Oh, he does save some of those. Picks up, gets out. And here comes the push. Guys, this is a big push. +1, Stim are both done. Shields is a little while behind. 50 seconds till Shields. But he's going to wedge a tank here, and then he's going to wedge a tank there. He's only got one tank for now, so he's going to wedge the first one here. Second one will wedge there. And, dude, this is a hard spot to be in. This is a really hard spot to be in, man. Okay, the Marines, the Hellions coming on forward. Seeing what he can do. Takes out some Queens. 1, 2. Ravager goes down as well. Bio lands on a Marine. And, oh, dude, this is getting real dangerous right now. The Marine's doing so much damage. I think Solar, he re-droned incredibly well. He was making 1-1, and Roach is gearing up for his own Roach play. But he's just a little bit too slow to it after all that early damage stacking up. I mean, beyond here, I told you guys he's a momentum-based player, and that doesn't work too well because Solar kind of stops him in his tracks, takes the wind out of his sails with his controlling style of play. Pretty sure I said those exact words at the start of game 1. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, pig? Bjorn's all over him. Well, this is definitely a change of event, a change of story, guys. Bjorn is motivated. I think he just needed to channel his inner Terran player. I've told you guys for a while, the only way to get good at Terran is to whine, rage, and cry about balance all day long. Biles take the tank out, but he loses 4 Ravagers for that. That's not a good trade for Solar. Another tank is there. 2 tanks in great positions. The Marines in front. And look at this beautiful play. Tank takes a bile. It takes 3 biles to kill a tank. 2 won't do the trick. And Solar has to tap out. GG, well played. All right, going to go into map number 3 here on Romanticide. Down here in the bottom right-hand side, Shopify Rebellion's Beyond on fire so far in the series. And in the top left, it is, of course, Kaiser Gaming Solar. It's a big map, so it looks like we could always see a macro game here. Beyond, though, is already thinking differently. One SCV heading across, another one behind it. This is going to be a proxy 2 barracks. So probably going to pause SCV production so that he can immediately, when this depot finishes, drop a barracks and then a second barracks. And indeed, no SCVs in production. First barracks going to go down. Second barracks will follow in a moment. He does build 1 more SCV, interesting. So not double 15 racks. It's going to be 15, 16, unless he cancels this SCV right now. And he does cancel that SCV. Double 15 barracks. There we see me, of course, having to pause the game. But it is all fixed there. And Solar. You guys are going to see me drop out of this game, by the way. I have had to hop into cast this afterwards. Oh my god, it's 3 racks? Dude! Oh, this is so committed. No, Solar! Go further! Go further to the right! Not like this! I know he told you shut up at the start. He was giving you attitude, but come on, man. Oh, that's going to be rough. 3 racks is super committed. And this needs to do massive damage. Unlike a 2 barracks build where you already have a gas behind it and then you can get a pretty well-timed factory, go for Hellions, go for Banshees. In this case, he is super committed. Solar, having gone hatch gas pool, has no idea. He scouted down here. He scouted over here. But beyond going for one that's a bit further back, a bit more surprising, and he's going to be committing pretty hard to a bunker rush. 2 SCVs will be staying with it. 1 SCV going home. Depot on the way. Orbital on the way. And he's going to go forward. Dude, Solar, I mean, his first sign of this will be his drone seeing the bunker. Oh, will he even see it, though? Okay, he does. He sees it now. That gives him a little bit of warning. The Marine's almost here. Drone's going to get 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hits off on that SCV. SCV does float and hops away. That's a lot of drones being pulled. But remember, there's 3 Marines being pulled at a time, being built at a time, I should say. The bunker does get cancelled for now, but so much mining time being lost. Ooh, good micro by Solar. Then he gets a surround on 1 Marine. The other Marine does wriggle on out of there. 3 drones do go down, though. The SCVs are very weak. He's so busy trying to keep his Marines alive. He's got to be worried about losing those SCVs as well. 7 SCVs, 7 drones, sorry, dying. Oh, this is massive. Those Marines, though, very low on red. The Zerglings will kill those 2. And there we go. As I said, I had to leave. I lagged a bit. Apparently the players didn't feel it at all, but I had to just leave that game. So I've just loaded this one up off the replay afterwards to get in here and cast the rest of it. And, ooh, the Zerglings. not going to able to get out of there. He would love to get a Zergling across the map because there's no units at home. As it is, look at this from Beyond, guys. Now, he's got to go high ground command center, right? With 3 racks, he's still pumping Marines, so he might just contain with the Marines and build it on the natural. And yes, he will. Beyond, very, very much focused on the economic transition. I can speak good. 7 drones have died. Spinecrawler plus transfuse on both queens. That's a very good anchor to his defense. Spinecrawler has 2 armor. Marines only do 6 damage a shot, so they lose a third of their damage output versus the spine, whereas they only lose that 15% versus the queen's 1 armor. So it's a massive, massive damage reduction when they're attacking the Spinecrawler. You add transfuses to that, it's really hard to get in there. Spinecrawler, of course, also having 7 range, so outranging the Marines by 2. So you can't really just go in, shoot, pull back. You're going to take way more hits than you give. Now, obviously, the Zerglings are rather shit in this scenario. Slow Zerglings not very useful. Solar does see that command center. He's making link speed. He's trying to mix drones and Zerglings. But the Zerglings kind of showing themselves. And I think beyond seeing all those Zerglings, he should know, look, my opponent's not droning very hard, especially with the 3rd command center. The trick here is knowing when to retreat. And for him, I'd probably wait, I'd say 5 minutes is the latest he can stay here before he has to go home. Ooh, he does get a queen, not bad. And the reason for that is he knows he's forcing a lot of units out, but if you lose all these Marines, you have nothing at home. And he's actually floated his barracks away, so the fact that he stopped producing, even more so, he's got to get out of there. If he gets surrounded by link speed Zerglings, loses every Marine, then these Zerglings have been worth it. But if he gets the Marines home, waits for their upgrades to kick in, they're going to be a massive boon to him when he gets stim and shields and +1 attack and all that sort of stuff. The Lings are out, they're on the warpath. Overlord sees him retreating. Beyond, if he can get himself in a corner, maybe. Oh, don't get... But look at the way Solar's hiding his units. I think that Marine might have seen them, though. Okay, Beyond stands in the grass. He says, this is where we'll make our stand. But a great fight for the Zerglings. They do get a lovely wraparound. I think Beyond should have tried to maybe tuck in that little edge. He was kind of a bit exposed there. That being said, it's not the end of the world. Remember, he did great damage earlier, but would have been even better if that was the case. And oh, he was going to go for the block on the 3rd. If he went for this even faster, then that would have been really annoying. But Solar gets the 3rd down. This Marine blocking this base, or at least spotting for it. 35 drones versus 29 SCVs, not too bad. And as I said, he's got no units at home. He's had to build a Marine there to chase those Zerglings off. This barracks might as well float at home. You know, it's going to be useful later on. It looks like Beyond's playing bio from this. Makes sense with 3 barracks already out. So why not just bring that barracks home, build a reactor, and see what's up. 3rd command center is done. Triple orbital, very powerful, but massively oversaturated main base. He really wants to get this natural mining sooner rather than later. Of course, a quick shout out to anyone watching this. Don't forget to check out Pigfest as there's a lull in the action. We've got a massive tournament that we are hosting in just a couple of weeks' time. October 25th to 31st. So depending on when you see this video, might be even closer, might be in the midst of it. And we have 5 world champions as well as 11 other beastly players all competing in that tournament. The likes of Cyril, Raynor, Trap, you know, absolute monsters competing in that. Cure is in there, Zest is in there, and it's going to be an absolute blast to see that tournament. So make sure you guys check it out. There's going to be 24/7 content that week as well. Whether it be me sleeping and us replaying the tournament for a few hours while I sleep, or all of the different sideshows and other festivities that we're going to be getting onto. It's going to be awesome. If you want some info, check it out. There's a thread on Team Liquid, !Pigfest in my Twitch chat, or just check out my Twitter page, and we've got some graphics and some links up. It's going to be a massive week-long tournament, and whenever the tournament's not live, we're going to be doing show matches with pro gamers, getting them to play Imbo League, all sorts of funny mods. Shout out to Nice Username for recently remaking that. We're going to let viewers play against players, see if they can hold out for more than a couple minutes against a top pro gamer. I mean, we've got a lot of good shit happening. We're thinking about potentially hidden name tournaments. We're thinking about this and that. We've got most of them already planned, but I haven't announced them all yet. So keep your eyes on the stream. We're going to be kind of tweeting about and announcing those on the stream over the next 2 weeks as we lead into the event. So get excited. Also going to get some Smooth Brain action in there as well already. And I'm really trying to get new Smooth Brain players that you guys haven't really seen on your radar as much, and see if I can get them involved as well, and really high level ones. So we're trying to set something up at the moment with the likes of like Mio Micah, Rocker, Uko, a bunch of these other guys who we're all going to be sending invites out to soon. See if they're able to play in it. Reaper. See if we can get Ruff in there. Maybe a few other Terrans as well to mix things up. We've heard Dolan and Binsky both play a lot of fun builds, so those are 2 options. If you guys know any Terrans that you'd love to see in a kind of tournament that's specifically for players who all play weird, who all maybe don't macro so good but do lots of creative shit, then definitely hit us up in the comments with exactly which players you'd love to see. Maybe Beastie Cutie. I'm not sure how active he is at the moment, so he actually might be a good match for those guys. Though historically, he is, you know, such a pro gamer with such a career that I was initially thinking he might be too good, but since he does a lot of kind of entertaining content, doesn't really train hard these days, definitely might be a good match in there as well. So for now, no real big damage going down in these next few stages, right? I just saw a bunch of Zerglings added to the units lost count. I don't know where that was. Okay, the Marines are pushing forward, guys. This is going to actually start to become a macro TVZ. Who's ahead? Who's behind? Well, upgrades. Slight lead for Solar, but only a few seconds. Almost identical upgrades. It's going to be tank production, and there's a second factory on the way. Remember that Solar, the king of lurkers, is obviously going to probably get a tech lab on that second factory. Could be a reactor to deal with the Ling Bane, since those numbers are so heavy. But if he's worried about lurkers, he might just go double factory tank. We'll see how Beyond chooses to do this. And Ling Bane moving out to the left side. Marines, Hellions seeing exactly what they can do. Ooh-wee. Okay, that Ling Bane looking for a flank. Beyond's got to be careful. Solar is poised, ready to take a fight. There's no way he's giving up this 5th base. Not with that much Ling Bane on the map. Beyond's going to come forward with the Banshees. Those Queens. Ooh, good cloak. Dodges some of those projectiles. He's very clumped, is Beyond. He's only got 2 medevacs. He can't evacuate. Where was his stim? He forgot stim. No! I was like, he doesn't have enough medevacs to escape and he's not pressing stim back? I was like, I've never seen Beyond fuck up his micro and delay stim for that many seconds. He goes home and starts stim. He literally forgot to upgrade stim after this messy start. He made shields, but he forgot it. Oh my god. He loses a bunch of Marines and Hellbats as well as a Banshee there. A great fight for Solar there, and Beyond an uncharacteristic screw up. This is giving some room for Solar to get back in this game. Second factory is up, and indeed it is pumping tanks. As we said, against a guy who you know is going to play heavy Lurker Bane in the late game, get that tank count up nice and early. Queen's moving down to the left side. We've got the Banshee on that left side of the map as well. Hive is on the way in the main base. Lurker as well. 2-2 on the way for both players. Slight lead for Solar there. And it looks like floating out to the 4th base is going to kind of reset things. I do like this. Safety tank, safety tank, safety tank. So Beyond has got these tanks in these really far back anchored positions behind wall-offs up on the cliffs. That's going to be really effective for him. And sensor tower going down. Probably, he's got one there. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Very nice. Going to give him great map vision. Picks up these Marines, saves them. And adding some Vikings to help clear out the Vipers. So when the Vipers come in to abduct your tanks, you're going to use the Vikings to help deal with that. The Overseer here. Dude, stop following me! Stop following me! So that Banshee pilot, she's just going to basically be a scout, essentially. Hey, look at that. Solar actually didn't notice it. She'll get a few drones before going down. Queen will come over and take care of her. And she's just going to go back to the dead space for now. There's a lot of units out there. The Marines come out to skirmish. Ooh, but the moment you enter the tank range, that's here. In this choke point, tanks will start shelling on you. And more Marines on the left side are going to drop right into that mineral line. Beyond pulls away from the Spore Crawl. The whole army is forced over here. Beyond's going to pick up those Marines, get back out into that dead space on the left side. Still has a Banshee over there as well. Now, Beyond has to be very careful not to F2. He has to control everything very manually right now to make sure he does not get caught out. And you can see this is his main army, these Marines and Medevacs. They're on number 1. He's got 2 tanks here on number 2. Wait, no, now it's his Ghosts. Most of his army he's using manual. 4 is his drop squad. 1 is his Marines on the front. 2 is whatever units he wants to micro, in this case snipe. So most of these tanks, not control group, they're just kind of set up everywhere else. So many bases going down for Solar. So dangerous to let Solar to this stage of the game. I really don't like playing against Solar at this stage. I mean, obviously I don't. Solar kills me before I would ever get this far into a game against him, but I mean, it's a scary, scary point. And Beyond has played really well. Double Nidus coming in as well. That could be a game changer. Now, more often than not, though, recently we have seen those Niduses. Even when they get in, a lot of Zergs aren't banking on it as much as they used to. Oh, Parasitic Bomb! The bees! Clawing those Medivacs apart from the inside out. But yeah, as I said, a lot of players, they'll get that in, the Nidus Worm, but they won't really have many units in it because they're kind of expecting it to be more of a light harassment or a distraction these days. Now, his Overseer saw the turret. He didn't want to show the Overseer going in, so he's going to clear the turret, and that allows the Overseer to now fly in on the bottom of the map. Beyond, though, he knows exactly what you're going to try in the late game, mate. Vikings say, nah. Surely 2 Vikings killed. No. God damn, speed Overseers are so fast. Okay, that one will get taken out by the tank. But dude, he's got to land these Vikings, I think. He's going to land them. Will he be able to take it out in time? That's not an armored unit. Vikings don't get bonus damage. Hot pickup, gets a tank and some Marines there. Hoo-wee, does clear that out. At the same time, though, Solar on the north of the map. Remember, he didn't even have that many units in the Nidus Worm. I think it's honestly just those 2 Lurkers. And that's it. Big army forces the lift there. Ghosts, though, looking for the snipes. Couple of Hydras, couple of Banes getting sniped. Nice moves here. Beyond getting some value. Nidus Worm on the south side. Spread a bit of creep, deny the base, and obviously give the opportunity. You could pop out some Lurkers and siege the wall. If there's only 1 tank, you can kind of just run up to it, burrow, and kill it. With those 5 tanks, though, it's not going to be an option. Mass Orbital on the way, guys. Beyond is building the Iron Bank. He's getting so many command centers right now. Look at that, guys. That number of command centers. He's building a planetary in front of his orbital to make sure he can't get broken on this side. Another planetary over here. No, that's an orbital, sorry. You can see it's tucking its head in. And it's not a planetary coming out. It will be a little radar dish. So he's going planetary up there, but orbitals everywhere. Extra planetaries here and there to just kind of cement his position. And really looking for the late game is Beyond. Ooh, good snipes. Good snipes. Oh! Laters. Laters, mate. Takes out the queen. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Okay, nicely done. 3/3 upgrades are on the way. Double Spires on the way as well in the main. +2 vehicle weapons coming in for Beyond. And Beyond doesn't really have a plan to push. He's got 19 tanks. I mean, this game is begging for Broodlords, guys. When a Terran goes this heavy on tanks, a wave of Broodlords takes him to Dicktown. And Solar is the best Broodlord Infestor player in the world. And I kid you not, in ZVT, his Broodlord Infestor, second to none. He's done it before on this map. I mean, we all think about the game against Maru where we're like, oh, you can't beat Maru's late game. And he was like, just watch me. And his Broodlord Infestor control was perfect. Secured the victory. And then, of course, he walked into a giant nuke. And it was like, oh, fuck me. He lost like 100 supply of Broodlord Infestor, Corruptor, and lost the game because of it. One big blunder. But that was, of course, one mistake at the end of, I think, about 15 minutes of perfect play. Tanks, planetaries say, are you guys sure? Are you sure you want some of this, Solar? The burrow, unburrow. Mate. Mate. Ghosts here. Oh, I like the way he runs forward, looking for snipes with the ghosts. Just run forward, snipe some units, run back, using those scans. Scans, sensor towers. The vision for Terran is just out of this world. If Solar can mine the corners out, that's really important. One thing I see Korean players almost never prioritize, well, most players I should say. The one thing I see only Serral and a select few other late game specialists do is saturate these bases quickly. As I say it, Solar does it, so good on him. It's really important. He should oversaturate these minerals. These minerals back here, these are easy to secure. You're going to have those for the rest of the game no matter what. But it's the corners, it's the front exposed bases. This base, and this corner base. That's where all of your mineral and gas miners should be. It's really important you mine out those more risky resources early on, and then you can fall back on the more secure resources later in the game. So I'd also love to see Solar try to take this base while Beyond is so turtled up, and Beyond getting enhanced shockwaves. That is, of course, the EMP radius upgrade. It gives them a big boost. Plus, half a radius doesn't sound like a lot. It's massive. Fusion core on the way. Vehicle armor, as well as +3 vehicle weapons. Building armor also gives you +2 bunker space. Not that you're going to use that. Random Thor, fusion core. I mean, everything is being rounded out. At the same time, we've got double air upgrades starting to come in. We've got Corruptors and Broodlords. Infestor count growing. 5 Infestors, 2 Vipers, 4 Broodlords on the field. Lurkers denying these bases down here. And I think Beyond is just going to secure the top right and then very slowly move to these bases a little later. For now, he can just scan. And that Lurker will be toast. So he's kind of trying to inch some tanks down here, looking for some positive trades. Ooh, Solar. Ow. Oh! Ow! Oh my god, Solar getting baited in really hard right now. I mean, he'll clear up these tanks. I mean, it doesn't matter in the short term. Losing a few Zerglings, you've got so much bank. It does matter in the long term, what happens in that unit's loss tab. Because if you trade at this level of effectiveness, I mean, you're going to need to mine out at least 1, probably 2 extra bases than the Terran to win, or you're going to need to find a kill timing. If you don't find either of those, it ain't going to work out too well. Ooh, he's launching nukes. Unfortunately for him, spores and spines in front of the bases. Solar will clean that up. And a prompt, easy cleanup. I think there's only 1 Ghost Academy. So this is like, might as well do a nuke. It's not the real Chad Ghost harassment like Innovation used to do it with 6 Ghost Academies, queuing nukes all over the map at all times. Ghost coming forward. Some snipes on the Banes. Loses a tank but kills a lot of Zerg. Once again, great trades for Beyond. And he's happy to do this. He can do this all day. What he doesn't have an answer to is Broodlord Infestor Viper. 8 Vikings is very good. You always want to get enough Vikings that you can either 1 or 2 shot Broodlords. So if you can get out about 10 Vikings, that can be pretty awesome. Ghosts, technically, great versus all those units. The problem is, if you get hit by Fungal, or if you get some Ling Bane getting on top of the Ghosts, they can't land their snipes, and they become really shit. And they all die. They're fragile. Oh! He runs forward. He gets some big EMPs on all the spellcasters. Dodges the Fungal. Now he uncloaks, which is a little uncharacteristic there from Beyond. And Solar keeping his Broodlords clumped. He says, if you come in range, my Broodlords are going to one-shot those Ghosts. I guess the uncloak made sense since he was on the edge of Spore range anyway. He doesn't want to waste too much energy. Thors kick the shit out of Broodlords, for those who don't know. But Blinding Cloud and Neural Parasite, both great ways of either taking the Thors out. He's clearing his medevacs out just to get a bit more supply. Anything he doesn't need, guys. Thinking about killing some of his tanks as well, no doubt, in this scenario. Broodlords mean your tanks are nowhere near as useful. 17 Broodlords, that's also enough where you can start to kill Thors almost in one shot. And if you can just one-shot a Thor, well, Broodlords can all sit on top of each other and shoot at the exact same moment. And the Thors, they take up space. They're not flying units, so they all kind of collide with each other. So that makes it really hard. Ghosts here picking off some Overseers. The tank's still working to try to slowly secure this. Beyond's focusing on the top right, but he's seeing if he can sneak expansions here at the same time. Big nuke. He's going to clear out this area. Solar doesn't have vision of the Ghost. So he could have gone forward there, but he needs an Overseer. He's got plenty of Overseers, actually. And he's going to cancel those spores. Loses a drone, a couple spore crawlers. Not the end of the world by any means. Another nuke is on the way, so he's made an extra Ghost Academy. EMP. Ooh, snipes a couple of the queens there. And then pulls back. And this is exactly what you want to do. Because if Beyond is not spread like this, he's going to die to spellcasters. And if those ghosts ever get hit by Fungal or the Broodlings or the Ling Bane, they're going to die very quickly. You got to be real careful here. Now, guys, remember, Beyond has 15 orbitals, so he should be throwing his SCVs away to make a bigger army. He hasn't done that yet, and he's still heavy on tanks. Very vulnerable to these units. He gets a few snipes, takes out 1 or 2 Broodlords. EMP lands on the Infestor, but only after the Fungal hits those Ghost Vikings, though. Ooh-wee! A couple of Fungals do clip 5 of those Vikings. And I'd like to see Beyond lower his worker count to about 40, maybe 45. And he's going to do a zoning nuke here to cover his retreat. Ooh, he does lose 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 Ghosts are going to go down. Oh! No way! He didn't get the Ghost calling and the nuke! No fucking way! Dude, instant rewind. We gotta watch that one more time. Dude! Wait. I didn't even think this. I knew the nuke happened in this game, guys. As I said, I'm casting this on the replay. I didn't think this was the nuke. It's so obvious. It's right in his face. There's a red dot right there, but he doesn't realize. No! That's 16 Broodlords and 2 Infestors! Oh my god! And now Beyond, fully erect, runs forward and is like, lol, let's win the game. The new Broodlords trying to morph all get killed and cancelled there. Beyond's just like, fuck yeah, let's dive it, dude. You just fucking lost your entire army to a nuke. I can't believe that worked. Beyond is gonna dive in. Another late game where it looked like Solar might start winning the late game with that patient Broodlord Infestor control waiting and looking for those spells to land. And again, he eats another nuke. Is this Solar's legacy? Is this his legacy? Getting nuked on Romanticide and losing games. This one was not won like the Maru game. This was still a very even late game, but it was a very even late game until he lost those Broodlords. Now he's losing control of two of his most important bases. Remember, guys, this is Solar. This is the same guy who got one pylon walled in on Oblivion in the GSL. The GSL map that was not properly tested. Parting built a single pylon at the bottom of his main ramp, and it walled him completely in his base. So his cannon rush fucked him up. Is Solar the unluckiest player of all time? We've never seen a player eat nukes that big in two different pro matches. This is only a weekly cup, but still, that's wild. For that to happen in the World Championship at Katowice, now to happen in a weekly cup, for him in GSL to get eliminated from a GSL season because of a map, what is essentially a bug. It's an untested feature that should not be in the map pool, and they immediately removed after his match, but of course the result still stood, as was the precedent from past mistakes like that in years gone by. I mean, Solar, dude, that's just, he's having the worst, he's probably the best he's ever been this year, and he's having the worst luck. This is, I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's not game over. He's remaxed. He's got Infestors. He's got Vipers, Broodlord, Corruptor. Oh, EMPs. EMPs from the low ground. Big Snipes as well. Big Snipes. Solar, where's your Overseers? His Overseers. Oh my god, he just took Big Snipes, but big Fungals as well. Oh, who wins that fight? I have no idea who won that fight, guys. I honestly, we're going to look at that battle report in a moment. Nice Blinding Cloud on the Thors. Solar's pushing him back, but remember, he's very weak, and if there's another round of Snipes, or the Vikings or Thors can get on... Oh, actually, no, he's crushing this fight. Oh, he is crushing this fight, guys. There's no answer left to the Broodlords right now. Trying to remax on Marine, Viking, goes. Solar says, I don't give a fuck if I'm unlucky. I'm pretty good at this game, pig. I will still win. I will still absolutely win this game. I am an absolute beast. Yeah, I copped some big EMPs to the face, but I'm going to keep pushing now. He's got to be careful because he's got no energy, guys. His Vipers are gathering energy. They're far away. His Infestors all out of energy. So I think this is a very wise pullback at this point. Careful of Snipes on the retreat. He's got to be careful of Snipes. Ow, 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 ow. He loses one and just one. One Broodlord on the retreat. That's not too bad. Back in this game. Liberator, though, in the midst of this, guys. 20 drones died to a Liberator in the bottom left of this map. That is very frustrating. Solar needs to rebuild that economy. I think after losing those Broodlords, he's got to kind of rebuild the economy, reset. EMP's still looking for those spellcasters. Gets another Queen. The Thors will deny that base in the top. Oh, watch out, Broodlords. His Overseers are following, which means if the Ghost Cloak, it's hard to get him. Ooh, he does get 2 or 3 Ghosts there. Only loses 1 Broodlord. I think that's a good trade. Gets a Fungal. That might catch the Thor. But no, stops to kill the Command Center. Nice lift there. The tank-friendly fire is actually really painful. The SCVs and the Thors getting wrecked. Dude. Guys, someone in chat said... Best Broodlord Infestor player ever, by the way, Pig 2021. They said that. Shame on you, Twitch chat. Behold this comeback. Loses literally 16 Broodlords and a bunch of Infestors. His entire anti-ground army loses 2 bases off the back of that and like 8 more Broodlords that he tries to morph as an emergency measure. And then he fights back. He just copped giant EMPs though, guys. His Infestors are way too clumped. He's only got 1 or 2 Fungals in there. Great Parasitic Bomb goes down. Great Parasitic Bomb. Where's the Fungal? Where's the Fungal on the Ghosts? 1 big Fungal and he crushes it. Again, Beyond getting pushed back, guys. Beyond is still ahead in the units lost though. He's still ahead in the units lost. But these last fights definitely feel like they're going in Solar's favor. Killing way more of the Terran than he's losing. I mean, how was the units lost up? I guess the early stages were so bad for Solar as well in the units lost. Oh no, the Broodlords are getting sniped. Big snipes do land there from Beyond. Oh man, these trades are always so hard to measure up. 14 Broodlords, 12 Corruptors, 12 Infestors, 3 Vipers. I'd like to see Solar start to spread his high Infestors out. Leave a few of them off the control group. Right now, he's got so many Infestors, all they're doing is clumping up for those EMPs. If you leave a few spread out, this is exactly what Protoss players do. because Protoss players play against Ghosts from the mid-game onwards. Zergs only get practice here in the late game, and that's why they're a bit lazy with their infestors. Running around in a ball like that, you're not always going to be watching at every moment. You will get hit by EMP eventually, so you gotta respect it, man. Vikings coming forward. Watch out for the fungal. I don't know if there's a single fungal across this entire ball of infestors. Give him a bit of time and they'll get there. He's going to lose more drones. A Liberator! Still, once again, this Liberator harass is tearing him apart. Another Liberator comes in there. That'll get cleaned up. But he loses his base on the top. The Ghost, once again, catching Morphing Broodlords. And oh my god, I actually think at this point, Beyond's denying enough economy. He doesn't even need to trade better. This gap can close completely. Beyond's mining a corner. Beyond's mining this base. If Beyond can secure that base, I mean, he's got good income. He's got great bank. Solar right now is not replacing economy. He's kind of all in on this army, and he needs to trade really well to make it work. Ooh, EMP zones out. Fungal doesn't hit anything yet. Watch out. Not one more EMP there, and he's got nothing left for the anti-air. Oh, okay, I don't think this is the fight. The Liberators are zoning out the Infestors. I don't think this is the fight for Solar. The Vikings doing good. The Ghosts not really landing what they want. Fungal does come down. A lot of the air units are taken out. And I don't know. Did he just win another fight? It feels like he did, guys. It feels like he did. He's going to chase this down as well. He's chasing down the tanks. Thors are still kind of scary, but 19 Broodlords with 3-3 upgrades. He's got 3-3 on the Broodlings as well. If he could have fungled or even neuraled some of those Thors on the retreat, that would have been spectacular. As it is, though, very good fights for Solar. As you can see, killing a lot more than he's losing in each one of these trades. Is that enough, though, when you're only on 49 drones as a Zerg? Not if these Liberators keep doing big damage. Another nuke did come down there. It looks like he did kill the Ghost that was trying to morph it in. Another Liberator! Okay, these Liberators are tearing him apart. Solar right now, you're tearing me apart, Liberator! I don't know what the fuck that was. That's not how that guy speaks. But anyway, I'm excited because this game's fucking nuts. So I want to see a big nuke again, to be honest. The Liberator is being a massive dick. One Corruptor will very slowly clean that up. That was like Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Room guy had a baby. Wouldn't that be sick? Oh! EMP! EMP! Oh, he gets a few big ones. One more big one. He doesn't get as many as I thought he would get. A bit of panic control there from Beyond, I think. He got a bit excited. Didn't land the EMPs the way we expected. He really caught Solar off guard with the flank, but once again, Solar is coming out the better in these trades. That gap is closing. It was about 20,000 resource advantage for Beyond. Now it's down to just 9,000. Big EMPs! Oh my god, he's only got like one Infestor with energy left. That being said, the Fungals are still really, really big. Is it enough Broodlords left? He's still got a lot of Broodlords. He's got 13 Corruptors. Beyond's bank is getting chewed through. I cannot believe that Solar is fighting his way back in this game, dude. I cannot believe it. This is crazy. Just the level of efficiency. One messed up fight, Solar loses this game. Because he does not have bank, he does not have a lot of resources. He's denying mining on this base with some Ling Bane. He's continuing to keep that Broodlord count high. And what are we building? Thor, Viking, Ghost, Marine. And it's not a terrible army, Thor, Viking, Ghost. But it's also, we've seen that the way Solar controls, he trades very efficiently versus that. Ooh-wee. Okay. Now, Beyond, these bases are still very exposed. They're sticking out like a sore thumb. This base here getting really low on minerals. Solar's whole focus needs to be on securing these bases. If he can do that, that's huge. Oh, accusing Nuke from the high ground. That's a confusing one. As Solar, you wouldn't realize that he's actually there. Solar, though, does pull it away. At least he sees where it is. Sling's like, hey, where is this Ghost? Okay, Nuke's just going to clear out some mining time, gets a Spore Crawler. And that Ghost will pull back for now. What's he got? Thor drop coming on in. Interesting. Nukes being built. He is making more nukes right now. That's interesting that Solar's moved down here. He wants to push the base of Beyond. But if he loses these two bases, that's his last bastion of economy. I think Solar wants to win because he's got a bigger army. Look at that. One Infestor goes ahead, baits the EMP out. Ooh, good fungal. He's still too clumped. That's what I'm talking about. You can't let 8 Infestors get caught by one fungal. 3 or 4 infestors could be doing the same thing. Leave everything else in reserve. I've actually been talking about this for so many years and how it's a mistake from Zergs, and finally Beyond is one of the first players to actually punish it consistently. Oh my god, the snipes just ravaged the Broodlords. The snipes just ravaged them, and he gets the rest of them. Every single Broodlord just died. And just like that, a snap of the fingers, and it's over. Beyond with so many opportunities, he just could not close it out. And he's down in army supply. This still looks great for Solar. But then there's only 1 infestor left, and it's very far back after those EMPs, and he's only got 2 fungals. He's only got 2 fungals. Fungals are what guards this army from the ghosts. And where's his overseers? Oh my god, guys, where is his overseers? A fumble at a crucial moment. Oh my god, a fumble at a crucial moment here. His overseers are all over here. Oh no, how many overseers does he have? 5? 4 of them are on the control group with the Viper Corruptor. None are on the control group with the Broodlords, and none are following the Broodlords. Remember, multiple times before this, there were overseers that were just on no control group, and they were right-clicked on Broodlords following them. And you also want to run one forward and even siege it up to get that extra vision. He just can't even respond. So not only is his infestor with energy too far back, but watch this. He just can't see. He can't answer them. So the way it works is if you damage these ghosts while they're channeling that snipe, they need a full 1.5 seconds to channel the snipe, 1.43 seconds. If they take any damage in that time, gets cancelled. Ghost just goes, just basically derps it. So if you just have vision, your broodlings hit all these ghosts, you cop a few snipes, maybe you lose 1 or 2 broods, and then they can't, and then they have to pull back and then try to kind of get the jump on you again, which is why ghosts don't just beat the Broodlord. Same thing if you land a fungal on them, it fucks them up. But look at this, by the time the infestor gets forward for the fungal, he has to throw it from far away because he's worried about getting EMP'd. He only gets 2 ghosts, and he's only down to 9 Broodlords, and they're all so weak. And then the ghosts just come forward. Finally, the overseers arrive so the Broodlords can fight back, but they're almost all gone. A massive fumble. Any damage, spell damage or otherwise, will interrupt it. A massive fumble after doing so well to fight back after the devastating nuke and just not having overseers with the Broodlords. Oh, Beyond's so good, but oh, Solar. Honestly, at this point, is Solar the new Sue? Is Solar the guy that we get kind of sad when we watch him? Because we're like, well, we know he's one of the best in the world, but we know there's going to be like this one silly mistake or crippling piece of bad luck. He's going to get kicked out of a tournament again. You're like, no. GG, well played. Beyond, though, gets the 3-0 and shows that he is indeed now a master of the late game. He's getting really good at late game in all matchups, and he's actually been crushing even TVP lately against the likes of Zest. GG, well played.